Hey there. Hello and welcome. It's MetaMicro again. Welcome to Synthesizers and Spaceships. A show about electronic music, composing electronic music. And doing that to Star Citizen. I'm sorry, I got a little bit distracted there. We're still new at this. We're still new, and but I'm having a really fantastic time. And there's all kinds of a lot of little things to manage here. So welcome again. Yeah, it's been a fantastic week. If this is the first time you're here, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Do your thing, because I'm trying to grow the show a little bit and share what I'm doing. I think there's a lot of people out there who would be interested in composing music to, or listening to composed music to Star Citizen and doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah, last week I had to pretty much tear apart all this stuff around you last week. All this stuff is had to reconnect and do things a little bit differently, and change a few things about the show, and do a few things I wanted to improve upon. Thanks for the feedback, by the way, because that helped a lot, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Let me explain the show for you if it's your first time here. It's a lot of you, it's going to be. What I'm going to do here is I'm a really big Star Citizen fan. That's a video game that's it's like a giant immersive environment of a video game that's it's got all kinds of spaceships and all these kind of places you can go and visit and just explore. You could play this game just and go on and on and on and do nothing but just explore this massive universe. Or you can get a job and earn credits and do stuff, or be a pirate, be a bounty hunter, be a trader. Like you can essentially be a space FedEx trucker if you wanted to. So it's a really fun game. So what I do is I go on little adventures in this game, and then I figure out what's going on, and like record interesting stuff as I go along, and then try to compose music essentially to those adventures. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that with the synthesizers around you right here, around me, and we're gonna do that together, using the instruments as we go. Now, if you look down below, you can see my hands on camera. You can see me on camera 1 on the far right, and then the middle at the moment. And then on the far left, you can see me playing the synthesizers. They're all on, and they're all going to do their own thing. In the middle camera, you can see me playing, and I'll be playing all these synthesizers. They're ready to go, and I'm going to do just a little quick check. Make sure everything's really going. You never know. That's one of the adventures of the show in general, is things just go crazy sometimes, and you just got to deal with it. It is a live show, so I'm reminding you that if you take a moment and this way. I always go the wrong way. The chat is live over here, so you're welcome to join in and say whatever you want to say, and if you have any questions, for sure, we'll try to get to that. So let me jump over to Bitwig for a second. Bitwig is the software it's kind of connecting all this stuff together at the moment. And what I'm doing today is something that's a little bit different than I've done in the past. What I'm doing now is I'm composing to an environment. The adventure I took is at Area-18, which is a location within Star Citizen. It's a planet, and it's a big, gigantic, sprawling city. And what I wanted to try to do this week is go in there and compose music using all of that environment and all the sounds and of that location, all the ambient noise that the game makers have done a fantastic job putting into the game. It's really super immersive. So I'm like, okay, how can I compose music on top of that? And that's the challenge for today. We're going to see how well I can do. But it's also, there's also something more technical that's going on with that, which we're going to talk about afterwards. So we're going to compose some music. We're going to see that, go on this little adventure, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit, and explain a little bit what's going on. So let me go over Bitwig for a second. You can see I'll be playing Bitwig as I go through. All the instruments are set up, and what I'll be doing is switching through these instruments as I go and playing them So I'm not just playing one synthesizer, I'm playing all synthesizers at different parts of the song. So let's get this going and see what we can do. All right.
Share space. Tram now leaving the station. Stand clear of the doors.
All right then. Yeah. All right. So hopefully you got the idea that like there's all these empty space. Well, not empty spaces. There's all these spaces within Star Citizen where you can kind of go on these adventures and just explore and look around. And there's so many neat things to see and exciting, just mind-blowing, just things to experience in that inside of Star Citizen. So I know I'm going off on Star Citizen quite a bit this episode, but I just want to get you into the mood to feel like what I'm talking about. Like, how do we compose music in that kind of environment and take advantage of the space that we're in, and how do we do that? Okay, I'm gonna switch over to this a little bit and talk about a few things about what I'm trying to do here. One of the things that was happening here in this particular composition is I'm doing a lot of clip launching. What I'm trying to do is, these are the first steps in creating what they would call generative composition techniques, where I launch clips of these internal sequences, and that gets into the synthesizers, and I kind of manage essentially what's happening and perform over top of it, improvising on top of a composition. Now, the reason why I'm trying to do these things in this way is these are like the first steps for once you compose in that kind of method, it allows you to go into a game and actually have a game dynamically start to play these parts as you're actually going through the game. So for example, if you're standing in front of a building, part of that sequence might, or the song might start playing, like you might get a guitar-y kind of thing that's happening over top, and as you get away from the building, another drum beat might start popping in and fading out. And as you navigate through the Star Citizen environment, what I'm trying to do is subtly change the music so it always sounds fresh, but it still has a theme while you're in that environment. And so what I'm trying to do here is emulate that and go from there. What I haven't talked about before is I have a computer programming background, and so I kind of have I have an idea of how to actually to do this, essentially to compose music in like little blocks and sections of things. Let me jump over to here to Bitwig, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. If you see, I'm going to have to switch over here real quick. Beep. And drive. I can hear a synthesizer playing something in the background. It's hung up. Okay, so if you see these blocks that are in front of me, what these are little clips, and I have a device that's next to me, and I can push it, and it will trigger that clip. And you can hear what it's doing. Come on. And as it's doing that, I'm modifying the synthesizer and changing that sound all the time. But the point here is it's kind of like a looping segment, and it's not recorded. It's playing the synthesizer, and it's playing it a little different every single time. So what I can do with that, and the block that's behind it, see, I have set that up so it will start after 8 measures, and it will start playing a slightly different pattern. And if you can hear, this pattern is actually a little bit more complex. And so what I do is, in this matrix of squares, essentially, I go from simple to the left and more complicated to the right. Okay, and then I add parts by going downward. So let me add another part. Let me add 2 parts. It helps if I turn it up so you can hear it. Now, the way that I compose this is it's not landing directly on measures like in 8 measures or 6 measures. It's what's called it's called a polyrhythm, and what that allows me to do is, well, what happens is it all comes out sounding. Something's hung. There we go. We'll turn. See what I mean? This stuff has a life of its own sometimes. So yeah, so the idea is as we travel down these blocks, I add more and more parts, and as I add parts, they start off simple, and as they go to the right, they can get more and more complex. Now, in the context of a game, how does that work? So this is the reasoning behind it. So if I've composed music in this way in, say, kind of like a 4x4 or 4x3 block of 12 segments, right? That means as the game gets more intense, I can take the song and trigger clips that are getting more and more complicated or more intense. And then if I need to get quiet, I can take instruments out of the mix, and then I can add instruments to the mix. I hope this is making sense. So if you're playing the game, depending on what you're doing in the situation, the computer software would choose to make the composition more complex or less complex, or more intense or less intense, based on like going up and down this square. Now, what's really interesting about that too is that means that I need to compose with that in mind, and compose things in like this 12 block structure, for example. But you can hear they're not complex at all by themselves, really. So they can be really mellow. Let's just listen to this one part. Okay, so while it's going, I can of course add another part. So let's add some drums. Easy enough. And if the computer decides it doesn't want to play that clip anymore, it just will knock it off. Knock it off. If it wants, if you get close to something again, you get there. Now let's say you get close to a particular building. I push another. So you can see how you can build up kind of, you can build up a mix that is organic and happening in real time with whatever you're doing with the gameplay. Now, right now, that's not happening because this is not, I haven't written any code or anything for this to happen. The idea is to start practicing composing in this kind of grid structure. And by doing that, it allows me to possibly write some code, and we'll see what happens. But I have some things in mind. So that is the gist of what happened today as far as the synthesizers and all this, and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made some sort of sense. Please feel free to ask questions in the comments and have me elaborate if that confused you at all, because it's not like I prepared a speech or anything trying to explain the situation, but you know, hopefully you get it. So let's jump back over to here, and let me just turn this off. So that's what it's like to write dynamic compositions. That's what I'm doing. I'm writing a composition that can be dynamically played, which will be different every single time. It will hopefully feel organic and evolving and changing, and it will be responsive to your environment. And right now I'm playing those parts, and I'm doing that all myself, but with the intent that you could essentially program this to do its own thing. And that's what we're kind of working towards. That's what I'm working towards. So there is that. So again, if you have any questions, I see there's a couple of questions coming in, and I'll try to answer those in a minute. All right. So another thing that I want to do is I want to jump over here and take a look at this. If you've already found my site, then fantastic. I welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Please take a moment to like and subscribe so I can continue to grow the show. I know everybody says this, and I get bored of it too, but yeah, I got to do it. Do the thing. Do it for me, please. Yeah, and so there's videos on my YouTube channel that you can watch. 3 previous episodes, all doing similar things. So they're doing different composition techniques in each one. And every week I try to do something that's a little bit different. There will be a different adventure every single week. And I will compose music on the fly, just like I did in every one of these episodes. And we're going to expand a little bit in this channel in the near future. And I'm going to be doing some things that are not necessarily composition based. I've got a few electronic projects that I'm working on, and I know those people are going to be interested. Composers and people who are interested in electronics and music gizmos are going to be interested in how to build synthesizers and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, to bring that to you and to bring that to this channel. It's going to be loads and loads of fun. So if you decide you want to play Star Citizen, use this code right here. It will give you some extra cash when you start up the game, and it will, you know, it doesn't really help me all that much, but you know, it'll help you for sure. So you get like a head start. And so I wanted to let you know about that. And from last week, let me go over a couple things from last week. Comments and feedback from M. Gibson CIG says, every time I come back here, there's always something new and cool to listen to. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. No Lake says, great music, very inspiring improv. Well done. Yeah, thanks, No Lake. Thank you very much. You know, it's like doing music, like cliff wall climbing, kind of like you never know what's going to happen, and that's what half the fun is, really, is just letting the music and the moment take you where it wants to take you. And I think that music as performance is really where it's at. It's good to get your stuff recorded and out there and shared and everything, but you know, at the same time, I want to be part of the music and not just, you know, I'm not explaining that well. Maybe you get it. But yeah, music as a performance, and I'm glad you guys are liking it. I want to do a whole lot more and continue on this journey with you. So I'm having a fantastic time. So besides that, what I need to do is, if you know, the best thing you could do for the show for right now, if you could help me out, like I said, is like and subscribe. And I'm just going to leave it at that and say thanks again for all your support and everything you're doing. Yeah. And I want to do some more. Expect some stuff, some interesting stuff coming soon. I've got plans within plans. The spice must flow, my friend. The spice must flow. So, this is MetaMicro. I'll see you around the verse. Come and play with us. You'll enjoy it. I guarantee it. Until next time, my friends. Until next time.